cap, I want to look tan. What should my caption be? I want it to be clever. How about living with my bitches, #live. I only got 10 likes in the last 5 minutes. Do you think I should take it down? Let me take another selfie. Let me take another selfie.
I am pleased to present the 65th annual report for the Camberwell Camera Club. When Donna Killeen was elected as president in 2018, I don't think anyone, including Donna herself, could have foreseen the degree and pace of change that would take place this year. First was the move to weekly meetings. Then was the introduction of Visual Pursuits, which has revolutionised membership and competition administration. A consolidated version of the rules applying to club competitions was published, and the club's bylaws were overhauled. None of these changes would be possible without a supportive and proactive committee, and our first formal thanks go to those committee members who have decided to step down from their roles. First is long-term committee member Annie Yaniak. Anna joined the committee in 2012 and has been a great contributor to the extensive changes that have occurred in the club since that time. Anne Matthews and Graham Shaw, who both joined the committee in 2017, have also decided not to seek re-election to the committee. Graham's insights, particularly around competition matters, were always well considered and valued. Anne's quiet manner meant that when she had something to say, the committee listened intently because it was always reasoned and worthwhile. Thank you, Anna, Graham and Anne. The reporting year started with our annual Christmas party in December, hosted by Wolf and Mary Marks, and we thank them again for offering their house as a venue. The Christmas party is always a fun evening and a great opportunity to socialise in a relaxed environment, and last year's party was no exception. Talk at the Christmas party always turns to the much anticipated annual awards trophy night, which takes place the following night. The trophies were again hotly contested, with a high standard of entries, and we congratulate all the winners. The winner of the print aggregate Donald M. Inchley Memorial Trophy was Kent Spence. The winner of the DPI aggregate Edmund Stevens Memorial Trophy A Division was Gaynor Robson. And the winner of the B Division was Graham Shaw. The winner of the Wilfred Broadhead Memorial Trophy for the Best Colour Projected Image was Maggie Tan for Density. The winner of the Gordon Hankin Memorial Trophy for the Best Colour Print was Ali Harper for Jetty. The winner of the George Rosedale Memorial Trophy for the Best Architectural Print was Ken Spence for Ryakan. The winner of the Viola Boyce Memorial Trophy for the Best Landscape Colour Projected Image was David Bignell for Deep in the Woods. The winner of the Nell and Viv Bennett Perpetual Trophy for the Best Urban Landscape Projected Image was Ken Spence for Bullet Train. The winner of the George Thomas Memorial Trophy for the Best Monochrome Print was Donna Killeen for Milking the Goat. The winner of the Edith Conway Memorial Trophy for the Best Projected Image of a Person or Persons was Ken Spence for Roustabout. The winner of the Barbara Simmons Memorial Trophy for the Best B-Grade Print was Graham Shaw for Orchid Mantis. The winner of the Image of the Year trophy, selected by the judges from all the trophy winners, was Ken Spence for Bullet Train. The winner of the Members' Choice Aggregate Award for the member who obtained the most votes throughout the year in the monthly Members' Choice competitions was Ken Spence. Our thanks to Vicky Hyduke for arranging the polishing and engraving of the trophies for our end-of-year competition, and for coordinating the display and collection of the competition prints. Our thanks also to Ian Spence for again facilitating the Members' Choice competition this year. We also thank our competition stewards, Graham Shaw, Ralph May, Maggie Tan and Anne Matthews for the exceptional job they have done to keep our club competitions running smoothly. Dealing with the introduction of a new system, which fundamentally changed the competition administration process, was undoubtedly challenging, but the stewards were invaluable in transitioning from the manual competition system to customising visual pursuits, tackling it always with open minds and good grace. The 2019 programme commenced in January with a presentation of members' nature images critiqued by our own Gaynor Robson. From an impressive selection of photos, 10 were chosen as the club's entry into the International Glennie Nature Salon competition. Our standing in the competition improved from 40th to 16th overall, from 65 clubs competing worldwide, including a first in category for Bev Bryson for her image Inner Sanctum, and merit awards for Michael Person and Jen Fawkes. Congratulations to all. Our thanks to Bev Bryson for coordinating the club's entry into the Glennie Nature Salon, as well as the club's entries in the Knox Interclub and VAPS Interclub competitions. On the first club night for 2019, we also had a presentation from our favourite Shutterbugs editor, Phil Hankin. Dressed in his obligatory Hawaiian shirt, Phil told his story with his usual dry sense of humour, taking us from his days as an ABC cameraman through to shots of his more recent travels. Thanks to Phil for an entertaining evening. In February, we had our first speaker night of the year, with Rick DeCuna presenting the Black and Blue Coal and Coral project he had worked on with the Light Collective. Rick and the group used their photography to highlight the deterioration of the Great Barrier Reef. We also had the first competition night of the year with the theme of monochrome. Our judge, Ian Bock, was impressed with the quality and depth of our membership, with no fewer than 3 of our B-grade members being awarded honours for their images. This set the standard for the judges and presenters we were fortunate enough to have at our club during the year. Our thanks to Jim Love, who, assisted by Ken Spence, organised this year's judges and presenters. The first of our workshop nights was held in February on the subject of silhouettes and shooting into the sun. This was just one of the many practical and educational workshop nights held throughout the year, and we give our thanks to the many members who organised and contributed to running these events, including Pam Morris, Ken Spence, Jim Love, Barney Meyer, Ali Harper, Anne Matthews, and those who have helped out on the nights. Also in February, the AV Interest Group held its first meeting of the year. The group selected 4 entries for the VAPS competition, as well as viewing and discussing some award-winning international AVs. The group continued to have impressive results throughout the year, with merit awards to Ruth Goldwasser and Wal Close in the APS Autumn AV National, and Mike Gibson winning the Herbert Award for Creativity at the APS Spring AV National for his AV Dachau. Thanks to Wal Close for continuing to coordinate the activities of the AV group. The Projected Images nights continued to be popular in 2019. These more casual nights give members the opportunity to showcase their images on any area of interest. While members' travel destinations are a regular feature, the topics have been as diverse as preparing your folio for the Photographic Society of America and planning your photographic shoot at a club weekend away. Thank you to Jeanette King for coordinating these evenings, and to all members who presented and supported the evenings. The Portrait Interest Group had the first of its meetings in February in Chinatown for Chinese New Year, and several other events during the year. These included a shoot at the Melbourne Zoo, the increasingly popular Camberwell Market shoot, and a shoot at Linden Aged Care. Thank you to Annie Yaniak for coordinating the portrait group. Thanks too to those who helped out with running these activities, including Mark Lorenz, Jim Love, Wolf Marks and Pam Morris. February also saw the commencement of our midweek outings, a collective event with Melbourne Camera Club, which provides photographic opportunities as well as some cross-club socialising. Our thanks go to Joe Hajdu for coordinating these events. Outings included a visit to see interesting exhibitions at the Monash Gallery of Art and the NGV, a walk through the historic precinct of East Melbourne, and a visit to the steam tug Wattle. The first weekend away for the year took place in February-March, this time to Echuca. More than 30 members participated in this outing, which included an evening of light painting, walks along the Murray River, a visit to the Barmah National Park with its beautiful river red gums, and of course many opportunities to socialise. Thank you to Ian Spence for coordinating these popular events. Karen Dobia was our invited speaker for March and spoke about creating impactful environmental portraits. Members found Karen a generous speaker and her post-production work was of particular interest. Mandarin Montgomery judged our images in the March Still Life competition. Images in the competition clearly showed our members' creativity has taken still life as a category well beyond the traditional vase of flowers. During March, we also viewed the images and listened to the judges' comments on the entries to the 2018 Two Hemispheres competition, in which we compete against the Leighton Buzzard Club in the UK. As always, this was an entertaining and informative night, starting with a barbecue and an opportunity to socialise. Alas, it was not our club's year, with Leighton Buzzard winning the competition with a score of 1,012 points to 970. Thank you to Don Weston and Wolf Marks for arranging the club's entry in this competition, to Vicky Hyduke for organising the catering, and to Diana Close for reading the judges' comments on the night. The digital group also held its first meeting of the year in March. The group focuses on some of the more technical aspects of photography, including post-production processes. Thanks to Don Weston, who ran the group for 10 years before deciding to step down from the role earlier this year, and to Jim Love, who's taken over the coordination of this group. In April, club patron Bill Barkman was the guest speaker and gave some tips on travel photography. As always, Bill's talk was in language we could all understand, presented in a relatable way. Composition, context and lighting was the takeaway message as the key components of creating a worthy image. Our invited judge for April was Deb Mullins, who judged our dinner time competition images. The subject certainly tested the imagination of members, leading to images of birds and animals eating their dinner, an aerial shot of a cafe, and a winning shot of one of our members' most patient models. May was a milestone month for the club as we launched Visual Pursuits, our competition and membership management system. Buzz Lightyear paid a visit to the club, signalling the big leap into the future we were all about to take. No more forms to complete when we submit competition entries. Such a monumental step does not happen without an enormous amount of work behind the scenes, and there are many members deserving of thanks for their efforts. First, a huge thanks to Pam Morris, who led the team responsible for assessing the club's needs, identifying potential systems, selecting the most appropriate system, and then driving the customisation and implementation. Pam was very capably supported in this process by Ian Spence and Peter Smythe. Many other members were involved with the implementation and testing, including Jeanette King and Jeff Loftus. The long-suffering competition stewards were also heavily involved, particularly Graham Shaw in customising the club's needs in the new system, and Anne Matthews and Maggie Tan in testing the competition and judging modules. The implementation also involved Evan Thomas and Mark Hassard working to minimise duplications and make seamless transitions between the two systems. Our thanks too to Ian Spence for implementing PayPal payments via Visual Pursuits, meaning payments for membership renewal and the Beyond Point and Shoot course can now be made online. Thanks to all involved in successfully completing this major project. In May, Tom Putt was our invited speaker talking on the subject of landscape. Tom practically flew in directly from Lake Eyre to our club, impressing us all once again with his stunning images from around the world. Lynn Haywood judged our images for the May phone photography competition. We've all heard the saying, the best camera is the one you have with you. And for that reason, it's no surprise that camera production in smartphones is now far outstripping other forms of cameras. Where once the quality of phone photography was far inferior to other types, these days the gap is closing. This was evident in the quality of the images submitted by our members and those shown by Lynn. A number of members attended the annual VAPS convention in May. As well as having the opportunity to hear a range of expert speakers and socialise with other photographers from around the state, those present saw some members shine in the interclub competition. Mike Gibson was awarded first place for his 321 AV Dachau, and Ruth Goldwasser was awarded a merit in the same category. Vicky Hyduke, Ian Spence and Jen Fawkes each had DPIs selected for Victoria's entry into the Australian Interstate Photographic Competition, a great effort from a field of 712 images. Mark Lorenz scored a perfect 15 with his image South Island. Congratulations to all. Brett Ferguson presented on portraiture at the June Speakers Night. We've admired Brett's work in some of our interclub competitions, where he always does well. His signature style is reminiscent of the great masters painters, and he uses it to great advantage, even when photographing his children. Mario Mirabel judged the 4 Clubs Eastern Suburbs Interclub competition in June. This is an annual competition where our club competes with Waverley Camera Club, Eastern Suburbs Photographic Society and Maroondah Photographic Society for a trophy and club honours. It was a close finish between Camberwell and Waverley, with Waverley ultimately taking home the trophy by 2 points. Our scheduled speaker for July was unfortunately unable to attend, so instead our own Ken Spence jumped in and talked on the 4th dimension in photography. Ken's passionate about capturing the passage of time through photography and explained his techniques about using motion to achieve this. The talk was so popular that he repeated it for members who missed it the first time round. Helga Salwi judged our documentary series images in July. Again, this competition was a stretch for us all and a great learning experience, with Helga's feedback. Paramount was that the 3 images told a story. It was not enough to simply have 3 related images. Notably, the July competition was the first in which Visual Pursuits was used to fully manage the process, including members submitting their images and the judge also using the system to record a score. While there were a few anxious moments about whether it was the best month to start, given that members had to submit 3 related images, everything worked well in the end. We also participated in the Knox Photographic Society's monochrome competition in July. Our club received the lowest aggregate score overall, as we did not submit any entries in the novice prints section. There were, however, some bright spots, including David Humphreys receiving 2nd place in the novice print images section and Jen Fawkes receiving a highly commended in the open prints section. In August, Carl Luddick was the invited speaker and talked about macro photography. This was a practical workshop with Carl bringing in a range of sets, including a golf course, in miniature of course, on which we could test and hone our skills. Vicky Bell was the judge for our August self-portrait competition, a national judge and speaker for the AIPP, teacher at Photographic Studies College and owner-operator of her own portrait studio for over 25 years. We were in very capable hands with Vicky. It was inspiring to see the creative approaches taken by members in their personal masterpieces, particularly as we no doubt felt uncomfortable about being both in front of and behind the camera for a change. Jeff Morfoot talked on the subject of making pictures about things as our invited speaker for September. A self-described burnt-out advertising photographer and former Vice President of the Victorian Division of the AIPP, Jeff proved an entertaining speaker. Often choosing to take the opposing viewpoint on many matters, Jeff explained his dedication to making pictures about things rather than of things. He demonstrated this through showing The Revenge of the Haiku Master 2019, a series of 17 still-life images he took to match the 17 syllables of the haiku. Natalie Morawoski judged our images for the Shooting Into the Sun competition in September. It was a great evening with many fantastic shots, ranging from camels in the desert to cows in the country. Natalie shared some stories about her work as a teacher at Melbourne Poly and how photography became part of her life. We appreciated her down-to-earth approach and her natural enthusiasm for sharing her knowledge and encouraging others.
Walk like an Egyptian.
Gavin Blue conducted a workshop on his passion, flash photography, in October. It was instructive for members to see his before and after shots, i.e. with and without flash setups, taken on a corporate location shoot. Using an obliging model, Gaynor, from the audience, Gavin explained how he would shoot a portrait, showing the results with various setups. Bill Bachman judged our Melbourne travel photography images in October. His consistent message about composition, context and lighting that we heard in his April workshop was again a theme throughout his feedback. While the photographers got his message, apparently some of their cameras didn't. In October, the club took a rare political stance on amendments to local laws proposed by the City of Boroondara. These placed restrictions around the use of photographic equipment and flying of drones within the municipality, which the club felt were unnecessarily restrictive. Thanks to Evan Thomas for drafting a submission to the council for the club, to Jeff Loftus for telephoning the responsible councillors and attending the relevant council meeting on behalf of the club, and to the various members who submitted their own objections. Our final guest speaker of the year, in November, was documentary-style photographer Anthony McKee. He talked on the subject of beyond fiction, highlighting how technology is making photography easy for everyone, but noting that in the process we are losing what photography is exceptionally good at, telling stories. In November, around 20 members enjoyed the second weekend away for the year. This time Ian Spence organised the event in Tura in Gippsland, close to Wilson's Prom. Highlights included visits to Port Welshpool and Agnes Falls, as well as multiple visits to the Royal Standard Hotel. Thanks to Ian for organising another terrific weekend away. Our Beyond Point and Shoot course didn't run this year, but we would like to acknowledge the efforts of Dwayne Harris in coordinating the course over many years. Dwayne has decided to hand over the reins on this course to be very capably picked up by Jeanette King. Thanks Dwayne for your efforts, and we look forward to seeing where the course heads under Jeanette's stewardship with the support of the large team of club helpers. Thanks to the committee for the management of the club throughout the year. Thanks to Donna Colleen for taking on the demanding role of president and taking the club from infinity and beyond, and to Ken Spence for managing our funds as treasurer. To Ken Spence and Peter Brodbeck in their support to the club as Vice President. Thanks to Fiona Anderson for taking care of the secretarial side of the club, including the work on updating the club rules and bylaws. Thanks to Jeff Loftus for managing membership matters and the mentoring program. Thanks also to the other committee members, Anna Yaniak, Ian Spence, Anne Matthews, Graham Shaw, Pam Morris, Maggie Tan and Ali Harper for their many hours of service to the club and for the valuable suggestions for making this club run so smoothly. Our club is one of the largest and most active camera clubs in Victoria, and it can only succeed with the support and contribution of many members. A special thanks to the following: Bill Bachman for generously giving our club his time and support as our patron, and being prepared to pitch in as a judge or run a workshop whenever needed. Phil Hankin for producing Shutterbugs each month, Lisa Powell for writing a summary of what's covered by our guest speakers for publication on the website, Evan Thomas for keeping the website running effectively behind the scenes, Bev Bryson for taking on the task of projectionist at our club meetings, Craig Morgan for updating our Google Calendar, Rebecca Verratti, Gillian Byron, Graz Tinney and Jeff Ince for organising the tea room each meeting and providing the supper service at our meetings, Ralph May for producing the fabulous graphic designs for our merit certificates, calendar and promotional materials, David Bignell for the amazing graphics he's produced for my Secretary's Report AVs, Phil Hankin for his help in pulling together the images used in the report, and to the members who submitted their selfies, Mark Hassard for posting communications onto the website and Facebook page, and Peter Brodbeck for coordinating the weekly mail out and for making us laugh with his particular brand of humour, Colin Morris for keeping our laptops and projectors calibrated and updated, Craig Morgan for collating the winning images of the year into a catalogue. This is our 6th AGM to be held in the St John's Anglican Church. The venue has again proven to be a splendid location for our meetings, and we thank the church and its staff for the professional and friendly way they interact with and support our club. Our sincere thanks once again to Bruce Williams for his tireless support to our club in setting up and packing away the room and equipment at each meeting. Bruce is most generous with his time and approaches the club's demands on him with good grace. Our meetings run smoothly thanks to Bruce's efforts, and we acknowledge and thank him for his contribution. As always, a big thanks to you, our members, the whole reason we have a club. And finally, this is my last annual report as Secretary after 3 years in the role. It's had its challenges at times, but I've enjoyed making what I hope is a meaningful contribution to something as worthwhile as our club. Thank you.